Hey guys, so the whistleblower for Boeing, talking about the Max 747 planes, I guess they were made to kind of like fly themselves or something. And what I understand from a documentary I watched years ago, the plane was made to prevent stalling. So if things happen, it put the nose down, and on several occasions they tried to get the plane nose up, and it would go further down. And pilots weren't quite trained on it, and the whole plane died. I think it was one in America, and there was one over in Ethiopia, Africa, or something. Lion Air was one of them. And this guy, whistleblower, he just died. He just found dead. And there's a video somewhere where he actually said, "If I wound up dead, somebody killed me." You know, when I was a kid, he had movies about stuff like this. Pelican Brief, and people. I'll tell you the secret. I mean, before I was a kid, they had the Dark Alliance. They were talking about the CIA selling crack cocaine, and for the Contras, the Dark Alliance. Gary Webb, looked that up. He talked about that. And I don't know. Some of that stuff makes sense, and some of it doesn't. I mean, we know that there's no doubt about it. Reagan was doing dirt to get them weapons, and going around going around what the government's supposed to do in order to procure weapons. For me, his death is a reminder of what we all fight for. They don't teach kids labor history. They don't teach kids really anything to do with that kind of stuff. And I've talked about this before about, not knowing about the fight for Blair Mountain. Yeah, rednecks fighting against the elite. That's why they had the red bandanas. They call them rednecks. Look that up. You're talking about why we have the Surgeon General warning on cigarettes. Why we have no more leaded gasoline. Why we don't have asbestos anymore. People fought for this. And the one thing that hit me about it, people are like, "Oh, racism's over with. There's no more racism. There's no more homophobia. It's all over with. We had Obama. We had the post-racism. It was the racism. I think South Carolina got rid of the Confederate flag. NASCAR got rid of the Confederate flag. Our society's gotten, somewhat better." Ralph Nader wrote a book in '65 called "Unsafe at Any Speed," and he's the reason why you have seatbelts and airbags. He's one of the biggest reasons why. And it bothers me that people now, Republicans, are like, "All right, this is normal." He caught hell going against the industry back then. And it just bothers me that people don't take a moment to think about that. Ralph Nader's granddaughter died on Lion Air, on the first plane that crashed. And it just touched me that even a man like that, who spent so much of his life standing up for the little man, standing up for the working man, I don't have money. We don't have money to spend on this. We don't have time to spend on this kind of stuff. For a guy like that who spent so much of his life for us, that his granddaughter dies, it's a reminder that the fight isn't over. The fight for labor, the fight for consumer protections isn't over. And that, yeah, it's AI now, but holding corporations to account, holding people responsible for loss of human life, it's just as serious now as it was in '65. It's as serious now as it was back then. Maybe the culture's a little bit different. Maybe people are more open to listen to that kind of stuff now than they were back then. But I really believe that that is one of those things that made me, that's what I was thinking about. It made me think about it, just how sad it is that this man that did so much for the working class, he is a hero, granddaughter ended up dying on one of those jets. I don't know if this man committed suicide. I don't know what his life is. I'm very careful about speaking on things of this nature. A lot of people I've seen where they're like, "Oh, this was so unfortunate." They turn out the motherfucker was doing drugs, or motherfucker was out here, like Kevin saying, was doing cocaine, messing with prostitutes. "Oh, it was a setup, it was a conspiracy," and this motherfucker out here doing, So I'm very careful about that kind of talk. Because what it does is, if it turns out motherfucker was like sick or whatever, or made bad decisions, then it takes away from the point. The point isn't where the Boeing killed the guy. Not that I'm saying it wouldn't. The point is saying that it's a reminder, and it should be a reminder to all working class people. This is what happens. They cut corners. The government go. They talk about the deep state and EPA and all this. And what I've learned in the last couple of years is that it's the opposite. That over and over and over and over we've seen the government, fall into place. And I just thought it was very sad.